When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling.
Welcome everybody to the 30th episode of the ADV podcasts.
What an anniversary it is.
Yes, we're going to be talking about scams, and we've
It's like
got
your
some-
favorite topic ever.
quite a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Please excuse the caps. We both had, what would you call it, pandemic haircut disasters.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. The problem is my wife did a great job the first time, and then the second time just absolutely effed it up. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to cover up these locks.
My wife did a much better job the second time, but
The first time was like...
it was just,
Remember the first
I had to
time?
shave it all off
It
anyway.
was so bad.
So got a couple of weeks, let it grow back a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's get stuck in and let's talk about what's new before we do anything else. So
Sure. What do we talk about and what's new?
we talk about what's new with regards to China, you
Yeah.
know, news and things like that. I'm just going to bring something up here. Don't you just love this guy?
He's like either my least favorite person or my most favorite person because he always delivers on content.
Yes. Anyway, this international spokesperson for the CCP is always on the attack. He's like a little attack dog. He's always really very offensive.
I actually would love to tell everyone, a lot of people have seen him on his tweets and stuff. He's very famous for his inflammatory tweets.
Yeah.
Which Twitter's blocked in China, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually, he's a government agent in that they created this character because under the new leadership in China, they came up with this thing called wolf warrior diplomacy,
Yeah.
where instead of being like super indirect and complacent like China usually was,
Yeah.
now they go for the attack. So he's like their, like you said, attack dog.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, as you can see, what he says here is the Sino-British Joint Declaration on Hong Kong is a historical document that no longer has meaning. So basically, whenever someone calls the CCP out and says, listen, you signed this document to say that you're going to leave Hong Kong alone for 50 years. You're not going to meddle with the government, with the laws, you know, and all that kind of thing. They're always like, oh, that's just, you know, a stupid document. But then when anybody kind of does anything that China doesn't like, for instance, when Britain offers citizenship to Hong Kongers,
Which has nothing to do with China.
no.
You know what I mean?
Then they're like, the UK is breaking the promise it made in the Sino-British Joint Declaration. So, you know, you're dealing with a very childish, bully kind of a government here. And this is what they do. They pick and choose the things that they like, and then they reject the things they don't like. Nuh-uh, you know?
They don't honor any. I
No.
mean, if you have your company set up in China, you are rewarded by the government for breaking contract and taking that IP. You're rewarded by the government for actually actively subverting foreign companies,
Yeah.
taking the technology and using it for yourself. But if the other way has happened, it's like, no way, what the heck? You can't do this to our Chinese companies.
Now, I actually want to put some personal anecdotes in here. I'm just going to go back to this. When it comes to contracts, there are several companies that I worked for in China, as you did too, universities and stuff. And for me, it was training centers and, you know, so on. You would always sign a contract, okay? And the contract would guarantee you certain hours. It would guarantee you certain bonus pay, guarantee you, for instance, not any of my places, but they would guarantee like a plane ticket home or whatever, right? But also penalties if you come in late or you do this or that, and the next thing, there are penalties in the contracts as well. Every person that I know who's worked in China and signed a contract has always had the penalties enforced 100%. So, you wanted to take sick leave. All right, we're just going to dock $100 off your paycheck if you want to take sick leave because you didn't give us like a month's notice or whatever. And then there it is in the Chinese contract, very often not in the English contract, but in the Chinese contract there'll be something. Because you sign two. And you think, because you can't read the Chinese, you think it's just a translated copy. Anyway, the thing is, when they break their agreement and they force you to work extra hours, or they force you to make up time. So this happens a lot. Say there's a public holiday and the public holiday is on a Wednesday. They will then make you work the coming Saturday to make up for that day.
Yeah.
Okay, they do that kind of thing. But if you moan and complain about it, nothing gets done.
No.
And they just withhold your pay.
Right.
So I've had every single contract that I signed in China broken by, the Chinese party with no repercussions. But if I ever tried to break any part of that, I would have to face repercussions. You have the same experience?
Identical. I don't even need to tell my story. It's like the universities, they would make it feel lucky if they paid you on time, or if they paid you like late. You're really lucky to receive this payment, even though you haven't broken contract, come to work on time.
Yeah.
But they're very apt to completely disregard all the promises they had made in the English version.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. And that's why this meme that you just showed makes so much sense. It's just an embodiment.
It is an embodiment. It's part of the Chinese business culture. And as a foreigner, you're always on the losing team, which is it's really freaking annoying. And they will do things like withhold a month's pay always as kind of like a guarantee, And only when you end your contract do you get that back.
Sure.
A lot of places I worked for, they'd be like 3 months worth of pay they would hold.
Correct.
And they would only give it back to you when your contract successfully ended. And even if you wanted to leave after the contract, they would use that as leverage to make you sign the next contract. Things like that. It's kind of it's very one-sided.
It is.
So there's another thing that's kind of new that we wanted to talk about. We don't have a picture of it here, but it's about the UK universities. Maybe you can just fill people in very quickly here.
So there's this issue with Chinese students. They're in China, but they were going to UK universities.
Yeah.
Right. So in order for them to not have to go back to the UK, they can actually do distance learning because of the lockdowns and stuff over the internet. So they're using software, obviously, to convey their professors' lectures over video.
Yeah.
But in order to operate, because they're not in the UK now, right?
No,
the
they're in
students
China.
are in China.
Yeah.
In order to comply with the Chinese government, they have to censor their material. And so let's say if they're talking about Chinese history or something, they have to tell the Communist Party's version of that in order for them to be able to do this distance learning with the British university. So we're talking about a British university that has a self-censor, which they didn't previously have to do.
No.
Because they're operating technically in China, which is that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, basically they are looking after their wallets because they know that if they say something during the lectures or they provide material that goes against the Communist Party through their distance learning program, that their university will simply be
lose
blocked.
their students.
I mean, never mind that. The actual service, the distance learning service will just be blocked in China and they'll lose all their students and their revenue.
Right.
So again, this is just another example of the world pandering to the CCP censorship needs in to make a buck.
Yeah.
And I really, really wish that companies and institutions would just stop because it's ridiculous. We're allowing ourselves to be muzzled and censored around the world just because of money and greed, and it's disgusting.
It's also really immoral from the perspective that a huge outlet for Chinese people to change their mind and maybe be more open to ideas like democracy and freedom and actual equality is the opportunity to study abroad. So they're able to go to an American university or a British university and then actually talk to people from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And then from there actually go back to China and make some positive changes. And what you're doing is completely cutting off that potential.
Well, this is something that the Chinese government is deathly scared of. And that's why you have things like the Confucius Institute, which recently has been trying to rebrand itself because it's gotten too much of a bad rap.
Right.
They are there to keep an eye on the Chinese students abroad to stop them from picking up any bad habits from the West. You see, the whole idea of Chinese students going overseas to study from the Chinese government's point of view is they encourage it because they want a transfer of technology. That's the whole point. They want, people to go and study something that China doesn't have the skill set or the knowledge of, then come back to China and then use that knowledge and all the technology that they've learned and all the learning to help build China up. But what they don't want is for people to bring back Western ideas of democracy or, I don't know, freedom of speech and individualism and stuff. So that's why they have to have all these Chinese students associations, Confucius Institute, on foreign campuses and in the foreign sort of Chinese communities in order to keep track of and monitor the students and quash out. I mean, I've had several interviews with people like this, but actually quash any dissent.
Right.
And it's kind
terrifying
of
for the Chinese.
No, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful, and especially with the new Hong Kong security law. If you're seen kind of like promoting Hong Kong freedom or something overseas, you can now then be tried when you return to China.
Or even Hong Kong.
Yeah, or Hong Kong. So
Pretty terrifying.
this is, guys, this new national security law in Hong Kong is a massive defeat for the free world. It's terrible. And it's something we're going to dedicate an entire podcast to.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about it at length.
No.
But I really have to say that it breaks my heart to see this having been passed. And we're seeing Hong Kong be muted and shut down, and a lot of people's lives and freedoms put in danger.
I mean, you see all of the work and effort and dedication and blood that was shed in these protests to fight for freedom, and they successfully quashed the first bill.
Yeah.
And then a worse one was instituted.
Once again, the Communist Party breaking its promises for the whole world to see. And so anyone who has any dealings with the Chinese government, you will be able to look at what's happened in Hong Kong as an example of what's coming to you. And don't think it's ever going to be any different for you just because you're Nike or NBA or whatever. Just you may think you're big and powerful, a big corporation, doesn't matter. Look what happened to Hong Kong. It's clear as day. Anyway, let's do some super chats before we move on to our main thing.
Sweet.
Which, by the way, is quite lighthearted and
It's going to
fun.
be, you guys are going to love it.
It's not going to be depressing.
Jonathan Lau, hi Winston and Matt, I hope all is well. I'd like to know your thoughts on Joe Biden. Is he the lesser of evils, or is he too friendly to China? Thanks. I would say that I'm very concerned about his son's connections to China. That being said, I don't know enough. I know that he has hairy legs.
As far as when it comes to American politics, Biden is the guy who sucks on people's fingers or whatever. I've seen those pictures.
I mean, we mostly watch it as like a clown show.
It is. It's funny. I can't have of course, I have my own opinions about it, but it's like it's still early days for me to really be able to wade into that whole mess.
I think he needs to be more clear about his stance on China.
Yeah.
And then we'll know.
Yeah.
Ultima MLC, who equals CCP equals China. Bad word. Yeah.
Sure.
Aman K, what do you guys think about U.S. banning TikTok? We're going to get into that in the next podcast because we're waiting for some actual legislation to go through and the investigations.
The only thing I want to say is, well, China bans everything from the West. So,
Sure.
But I guess it goes against the whole Western thing.
That's the problem. So we're going to get into it.
Well, we'll see.
Don't worry.
If they're breaking the law, they should be.
Sure. We'll do one more before we get
Okay,
in. Johnny B. There is a huge scam in Arizona. The Chinese restaurants have Chinese servers, but everyone in the kitchen are of Mexican heritage. That's not a scam.
Okay.
But that is pretty funny. Okay.
All right, let's move on to our major thing, which is a soft power hour. This is how China is there to change your minds through, soft power, basically.
So I want to tell a little story.
Yeah.
I want you to, before you put it on the screen, can you scroll to a part where it actually shows the bracelet?
Sure. Let me see if I can find this. I'm looking for this bracelet. It's quite difficult to find this. Wait. Almost got it.
I think you guys are going to love this.
This is hilarious. And this...
Okay, that's fine.
All right, so let's go to that.
Okay, if you guys look at this here, this is a bracelet. And let me explain something. This little dragon lion dude, his name is Pixiu.
Yeah.
Or you can say Pixiu.
Pixiu.
He basically is like a kind of a god of wealth.
Kind of gambling, right?
Yeah, it's like, so like basically the idea is that you want to get a Pixiu that has an open mouth like this, but its butthole is like plugged up so the money doesn't leave him.
Sure.
So the money enters and doesn't come out. That's literally actually the legend, right?
Yeah.
So this bracelet here has him, so it's going to attract wealth, it's going to attract whatever, like fortune, right?
Yeah.
Now, we were watching, I think we might have been going over one of our videos.
Yeah, and an advert popped up.
And it took our breath away.
It was a Chinese, it looked like maybe a Malaysian Chinese guy.
Yeah.
And he had a story about how his father and his mother what happened? His father lost his job and got beaten up by police. That's what it was. He was in a car and he got pulled over. You might have seen this ad because it seems to be going everywhere. So basically, he's with his dad when he's 12 years old. He gets pulled over. The police, for no reason, beat up his dad and crippled his dad. And so, he has this whole sub story. But then we couldn't believe how ridiculous it was.
Yes.
So we watched the whole thing. It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. So we looked up the bracelet and we found the same guy in a different advert.
Right.
But this time his story was his parents died in a car accident and he became an orphan. Right. And, so it's the exact same guy telling a completely different sob story.
So we did some research and we were like, this is ridiculous. So it turns out they're trying to sell this bracelet.
Yes.
And it's this cheap ass looking crap thing you'd find on like a, those when people put out blankets on the side of the road in China and they have all those fake artifacts. Looks like something like that.
Yeah.
So we look this up and we find out that they're trying to sell this bracelet to Westerners and say that it's going to cure all their bad fortune and bad luck.
Yeah.
I was
So we
born
went
in a poor
into
family.
the actual media to actually find all their different commercials.
Yeah.
And we found the most chabado, beautiful China-fied like concept you've ever seen.
Yeah.
They write scripts for these people to read, but they don't change the script for each person.
Yeah.
So I want to show you some of the best ofs that we found.
Yeah, you bear with us, guys. We're going to be playing. We might get hit by copyright again, but we're going to play it anyway. We don't care because it's just too good.
Funny.
So what we're going to do is we're going to play you some of these things, and we're going to stop every once in a while and talk about it. But please just watch this. Okay, are you ready for this? Because this is just ridiculous. All right, let's do it.
Family. My house was underneath a bridge in the most depressing part of China. I worked as a garbage collector in the morning, car wash cleaner in the afternoon, and parking guard at night. One night on my way home from my job, a group of men robbed me and took all my money. When I arrived home, I came home to my father with a cookie. Then I sang him a happy birthday song.
I worked as a garbage collector in the morning.
All right, guys. First off,
sorry.
go back a little bit.
Okay, all right. You want to talk about the cookie?
I'm failing to see how this has anything to do with the story. So the guy gets robbed, but then he goes and gives a cookie to his dad, right?
Yeah.
So why? What does this have to do with anything?
It's a sub story.
It's a sub story.
Think about it in China. It's like 没钱，我只有一个饼干给我的爸爸，是他的生日。You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So
yeah, no joke. Like seriously, because it's like, oh, I only have a cookie.
Yeah, to give
but
my
in English
father.
it makes absolutely no sense.
Exactly, but it's supposed to make you feel sorry for the guy, like he's really down on his luck.
Right.
But okay, I think we have to just juxtaposition this by playing the next clip, so you can see what the hell's going on here. So let's.
And took all my money. When I arrived home, I came home to my father with a cookie. Then I sang him a happy birthday song.
I worked as a garbage collector in the morning, car wash cleaner in the afternoon, and parking guard at night. One night, on my way home from my job, a group of men robbed me and took away all my money. When I arrived home, I came home to my father with a cookie, and then I sang him a happy birthday song.
So. Okay. Yeah. So
we were editing this together, and it took us so long because we can't stop laughing. Who's this guy?
He's obviously supposed to be some kind of a feng shui master, but how does it go from Malaysian-looking Chinese guy to sort of chubby Brit, who also seems to have the same bad turn of fate that he has to get robbed and then bring a cookie and sing happy birthday to his father. So,
well, it gets even better. It gets even better.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Should we go back?
One morning I was doing my usual round of garbage collecting. My last stop was Master C's house. So I was emptying Master C's garbage bin when I found this wallet. I opened it and I saw so much money in it. It was like more than I've ever earned. Before I started to tempt myself in keeping the money, I quickly closed the wallet and knocked on the door of Master C's house.
Noel was loved by many, and one of them was someone called Master Z. One morning, I was doing my usual round of garbage collecting, and my last stop was Master Z's house. So I was emptying Master Z's garbage bin when I found his wallet. I opened it up and I saw so much money in it. It was like more than I'd ever earned. Before I started to tempt myself with keeping the money, I quickly closed the wallet and knocked on the door of Master Z's house.
Not all children have...
Okay, so now that part I liked because this guy, he grew up in the most depressing part of China, which, what does that even mean? But he lived under a bridge.
I could think of a couple places.
This is true. But he lived under a bridge.
Yeah.
But he was a trash collector. And Master Shi, apparently, it was his neighbor.
Yes.
And he found his wallet and gave it back to him, right? And you'll see that Master Shi will reward both of them. How is he simultaneously in the UK and in the most depressing part of China?
Yeah, because apparently Master Shi lives in the UK as well, and this garbage collector is wearing a suit, Anyway, it doesn't matter. We've got to get back to this.
Yeah.
A kind and honest heart. That is why he gave me this precious gift. He gave me the Feng Shui Black Obsidian Wealth Bracelet, and he told me I was the 80th person who received this bracelet from him, and that 80 out of 88 swore to be a living testament of how their life become abundant ever since they have this black obsidian.
But not all children have a kind and honest heart. That is why he gave me this precious gift. He gave me the Feng Shui black obsidian bracelet. He told me that I was the 88th person who received the bracelet from him, and that 80 out of the 88 swore to be living testament of how their lives became abundant ever since they had this black obsidian wealth bracelet. I didn't expect the small little action would spark the turning point of my life.
So basically, I mean, you get the gist here.
I was just shocked to see like white monkey stuff.
Yeah.
On like YouTube. It was on YouTube.
Yeah, this is they've got their own YouTube ad campaign. And yeah, the whole gist of this basically is, okay, they get this bracelet, then suddenly they get a better job and wealth starts coming to them.
We have to show some of the other ones because the other stories are hilarious.
Yes, it's not just these two.
No, there's lots more.
It's not just these two.
Should we play it through?
Let's play some of them through.
Okay, do the child one. Remember where all his mistakes at school were funny?
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is like the worst translation. Yeah, I experienced a lot of failures.
Yeah, okay, let's just do it. Okay, let's do it.
Ever since they had this black obsidian wealth bracelet.
When I graduated college, I never thought I'd be considered one of the richest people in Asia. I experienced a lot of failures that most people will consider funny. I failed in my primary school test twice. I failed in middle school 3 times. And for 3 years, I tried getting into universities and failed. I also tried to get into one of the United States Ivy League schools. All of them ended in rejection. When my attempts at good education all went nowhere, I went home and applied for jobs 30 times and still got rejected. I was on the verge of giving up until I came across an old man who told me about the idea of feng shui. I was mesmerized by what I heard from the old man. So I asked my parents if they knew something about it. They told me that feng shui is a pseudoscience originating from China. It claims to use...
So this is a feature. I'm sorry, guys, we're not muting on accident. We just don't want feedback.
Exactly.
This is a feature in every one of these. They keep calling it a what?
Yeah, pseudoscience.
Because they got it from Wikipedia.
But, you know, the thing is, okay, first of all, I love the fact that this guy failed his primary school test twice. Which primary school test?
You know,
who goes from failing primary school and middle school tests to trying to apply for an Ivy League university?
Right.
Of course you're going to fail.
You must be riding the short bus properly if you think. Anyway, so he said, I had a series of failures which many people will find funny. And I just realized they mean 有趣, like exactly. Interesting, or like, you know, it doesn't mean the same thing, but it's a mistranslation.
Absolutely.
But we're laughing at it.
The pseudoscience thing, there are a bunch of these adverts, and as part of testimonials, they don't understand what pseudoscience means. They think it means
it's a big word,
science, or it means it's real.
Right.
Because in a lot of these adverts, you'll see they say, according to Wikipedia, feng shui is a Chinese pseudoscience.
They're like, whoa, that sounds badass.
So they're putting it out there as if it's like really an accolade. It's a pseudoscience, guys. You know, so you got to take it seriously.
Yes, we're gonna keep playing these.
Yeah, but let's just keep
enjoy.
Going.
Energy forces to harmonize individuals with their surrounding environment. The art of feng shui is used to optimize abundance and prosperity of every kind. Wealth, health, relationships, and career success. Many famous people and companies in the world use feng shui too. A few days later, I came across the old man again, and he handed me a beaded bracelet. I was surprised and a bit curious about the beaded bracelet. Even before asking, the master told me that it's called the feng shui black obsidian wealth bracelet. By combining the mythical creature, Pixiu, with the natural volcanic stone, black obsidian, it enhances the flow of positive energy greatly, especially in the area of wealth. The Pixiu helps attract the flow of positive energy and is also believed to attract wealth, while the black obsidian blocks and filters negative energies. In just a few days, I talked to some of my friends about an online business, and they agreed to assist me with the funding. Over the next 4 months, the site started attracting clients from other countries across the world. Within a year, my online business had already raised $4 million from one of our leading exporters and another $10 million from a Japanese client. Seeing how the bracelet helped me succeed, my friends decided to give it a try. One shared how it stopped her illness that wouldn't go away for months. Another finally passed the board exam after failing 3 times. Another friend told how he overcame depression and regained his self-confidence. Before he went his way, the old man taught me how to wear it. First, you need to wear the bracelet on your dominant hand, the hand you use to write. You also need to make sure that the head of the pixie U is outward to draw energy from all directions. Before wearing it, you also need to remember to touch it frequently. This lets it know that you are the master and it should assist you. Do not allow others to touch it. If someone else touches it, cleanse it with water. Do not wear it while bathing because it is incompatible with dirty things. Other than the points mentioned, all you need to do is to wear it and let it do its magic. With the internet and social media, people are now becoming more aware of feng shui and how it helps people attract positive energies. Had I known about this sooner, I could have helped a lot of people with my business. By just wearing the feng shui black obsidian bracelet, you can connect imbalances of energy and start to enjoy life without worries or anxieties. You have nothing to lose except bad energy, negative thoughts, and misfortunes. Click on the link below and start.
Right, okay, first of all, this so-called master can't even pronounce Pixiu.
Yeah.
Pixiu.
Pixiu, dude. Well, they obviously went on Fiverr to like. The funny thing is, he was just an old man. He's like an old white guy.
Yeah.
But then now he's a master.
Yeah.
They didn't foreshadow that at all.
No. It's ridiculous. I mean, this is basically a bracelet for losers, it seems. 'Cause, like, you have to not be able to pass any test or do anything
How do you
right
fail
in life.
primary school?
I have
And
no
they said
idea.
in primary. I failed in primary school.
Yeah. Guys, we got to cut to the chase.
We got a little more.
We got more, but I mean,
Okay.
can we tell them how much they sell this for?
Well, I already
Oh,
have
you
all
have
the-
it in it?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
We'll come
guys.
to that.
We will come to it, but you've got to see. Okay, now the next one we're going to show you is the initial guy that we saw, the Malaysian Chinese guy, who basically had the story about his father being beaten up by the police. Now, this is the same guy. We couldn't find the original one, although it's
was
active.
unlisted.
Yeah, you might actually see it if you watch some videos.
Yeah.
But the initial guy, his father, they got pulled over for no reason. Father got beaten up by the police, got crippled. But then he got this bracelet,
Right.
and then he earned enough money to take his dad to travel the world.
Right. And that's a huge thing in China, by the way. They think that everyone has the same sentiments as Chinese people, but it's all about bringing your family out of poverty, which is a very Chinese thing.
So anyway, this same guy who took his father around the world because of the success of this bracelet, we have to hear his alternative story. You ready for that? Let's do it.
To achieve more.
When I was a little kid, my parents and I migrated to the US from China. A few weeks later, they died in a car crash. I was this Chinese kid who lived in an orphanage and all alone in a foreign country. I can't speak the language. I have this strong accent. I look different. I make money by guarding vehicles on parking lots and collecting garbage. I get bullied every day in school, every single day. One day I get picked on in school again. The bullies hit me on the head with a baseball bat and I went into a coma. I was unconscious in the hospital for 2 weeks. When I woke up, my caregiver gave me an odd-looking bracelet and told me to take care of myself. Since then, life has been good. I seem to have grown internal power that the bullies no longer dare to bully me. A very good couple adopted me even though I was no longer very young and they started to take care of my living expenses. I got a scholarship for college and went on to get a high-paying job. One day, my dad noticed the odd-looking bracelet in my hand and asked me about it. I got curious too, so I began to do some research about the odd-looking bracelet. I found out that it has something to do about the concept of feng shui. According to Wikipedia, feng shui is a pseudoscience originating from China. It claims to use energy forces to harmonize individuals with their surrounding environment. The art of feng shui is used to optimize abundance and prosperity of every kind: wealth, health, relationships, and career success. Many famous.
Okay, now, I mean...
I wish we could talk while we're watching this. It's so funny.
You
but
get feedback. But
this guy, he got bullied, dude.
yeah, he did.
Poor
And then he
guy.
got hit on the head and went into a coma. This guy's got the worst luck in the world. His
Dude.
parents die.
You know what I find the most, like, you guys might think we're insensitive because we're laughing at the story. Number one, it's obviously not true. We've seen his other fake tail. But number two, he's not even speaking with a Chinese accent.
No.
So stop claiming to be Chinese.
Yeah,
then.
exactly. It goes along the same thing about like how to wear it and all that crap, you know, and how it suddenly brought him all this amazing, you know, luck and wealth. Anyway, you know, it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. And he said my dad noticed this odd-looking bracelet, which, maybe it's his stepdad, okay? But in the previous one, where he took his dad around the world, it was the same line. My dad noticed this odd-looking bracelet.
Sure. So my dad died at childbirth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have some more.
Oh, yeah.
They got some white people. Oh, here's the white monkey ones.
Yeah. This is really funny.
This is great. You guys are going to love this one.
Yeah, okay. You ready for some more hard luck stories, guys? Because don't worry, here we go.
Bad luck and misfortunes. Click on the Shop Now button to get yours and experience a more abundant life today.
On the night my boyfriend broke up with me, I found a strange-looking bracelet on the floor just outside my house. Since then, my life has been good. Things just seem to go my way ever since then. I was promoted to a high position in the company and had a new and better boyfriend who treats me like a queen. We are having the time of our lives as we travel around the world in business class flights and 5-star hotel suites. Then, one day, while touring the streets of Spain, I bumped into a stranger and found that my strange-looking bracelet was gone. I suspected that the stranger had intentionally stolen off my wrist, but I could not do anything about it. In just a few weeks after that, my boss sacked me unfairly for a mistake that I did not make. Things got even worse 2 months later. My boyfriend cheated on me, and we eventually broke up. I went from living the life of my dreams to a nightmare. All of these misfortunes sank me into a deep state of depression. I began to drink every day to drown my sorrows. When my mom scolded me for sobbing every day, I screamed at her and said some nasty things to her. Just days later, my mom had a major car accident and passed away. Tears began to roll down my cheeks as I remembered how nasty I had been to her just before she passed away. I snapped out of my depressed state and made a promise to myself that I will turn all this bad luck around, whatever it takes. Trying to get my life back together, I began to start looking for a job again. I accidentally came across the idea of feng shui, and I began to suspect that all of my bad luck could be due to having a bad energy flow around me. According to Wikipedia, feng shui is a pseudoscience originating from China.
Dude,
Wow.
how do they read that script in terrible English, right?
Yeah.
They read that and they don't question it. They're not cracking up. This is the most insane story
So-
I've ever heard in my life.
So this woman had, again, like the worst luck ever. She finds a bracelet. Everything goes well.
Strange-looking bracelet.
Yeah, and then when she loses it, suddenly, like, she loses her job, her boyfriend cheats on her with her best friend, and then her mom dies, and it's like, dude, okay.
I just love it so much because this is what Chinese companies think is gonna sell to Westerners.
I know. This bracelet sounds like more than a curse than good luck, if you
How
ask
about
me.
you just don't start with the bracelet? I'd rather
Yeah.
have the little bit of bad luck where her boyfriend broke up with her in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now her freaking mom's dead.
Everything.
Because she lost it.
Yeah, this bracelet, like whoever's life it touches seems to destroy, you know?
So
Yeah.
go to the old lady one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So okay.
So remember how we doubled up the script for the first two guys? Well, he did it again.
Yeah, this is really, really
It's
good.
incompatible with dirty things. Don't wear it, you dirty.
Yeah.
You dirty ass
Dude,
woman.
don't wear it. Okay.
I got this crazy
Okay,
old hag. All right, ready?
Okay, let's go. You ready for this one?
Button to get yours and experience a more abundant life today.
When I was 30, my mum gave me an odd-looking bracelet and told me that it was for good luck. After that, life was good. I earned enough to fly around the world in business class and to stay in 5-star hotel suites. Then, one day, while touring Italy with my boyfriend, I lost the odd-looking bracelet that my mum gave me. In just a few months, I was fired from my high-paying job, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find any other employers that would hire me. Things got even worse 5 months later. My boyfriend broke up with me and ran off with my best friend. I went from living the life of my dreams to a nightmare. All these misfortunes sank me into a deep state of depression. I began to drink vodka every day to drown my sorrows. One day, I heard my mum crying in her bedroom, and it broke my heart. I snapped out of my depressed state and made a promise to myself that I would turn all this bad luck around, whatever it took. Trying to get my life back together, I began to start looking for a job again. I accidentally came across the idea of Feng Shui, and I began to suspect that all my bad luck could be due to having a bad energy flow around me. My mother then asked me about the odd-looking bracelet, and we both concluded that the bracelet could be the thing that was giving me a good energy flow, till I lost it. According to Wikipedia, Feng Shui is a pseudoscience originating from China.
Okay, so Feng Shui is a pseudoscience originating from China.
I couldn't laugh as much as her. She was creepy, dude.
She's quite a creepy lady.
She's like a evil doll or something.
Yeah.
But there's we'll cap this off by showing you some of the other ones. But when they got that's another one that like failed at her job like a million times or something. Oh no, that's her. Keep going.
Her. Yeah.
Just make sure we didn't miss it. Oh yeah, we'll play the beginning of hers and then we'll cap this off by spoiling the broth and telling you exactly how much these cost.
Yeah, let's do it.
Get yours and experience a more abundant life today.
Just a year ago, I was living the life of my dreams after a strange encounter with an old man in Hong Kong. He gave me this odd-looking bracelet and told me that it can help me with my feng shui. And at that time, I had no idea what he was talking about, but I wore the bracelet anyway because it kind of looked good on me. And since then, my life has been so good. I was offered a high-paying job through my friend, and I was able to provide not me, but my family a good life as well. I bought my father his favourite sports car, and I bought my mum a beautiful mansion by the sea.
So wait, you bought your mum a lighthouse is what you're saying?
You made her work in a lighthouse for like minimum wage.
Isn't that like a tourist attraction? Aren't they being bothered by all the tourists coming in to check it? Do they light the fires at night?
They do.
Yeah, anyway, just continue.
Absolutely loves it. Now here's what happened before my encounter with the old man from Hong Kong. My best friend, who is also my colleague, got into trouble for making a grave mistake that cost millions and millions of dollars. As I knew my best friend needed the job more than me, I helped her by taking up responsibility for her mistake. But as the mistake was too grave to be forgiven, I was unfortunately fired. My best friend thanked me for helping her and told me that she will someday repay me for my kindness. And after being fired, I decided, well, you know what, I'm going to travel to Hong Kong for some relaxing holiday. And while touring Hong Kong, I saw an old man being bullied on the streets, and I quickly confronted the bullies and chased them away, because how could I not? The old man thanked me for my help and then gave me this odd-looking bracelet.
Who bullies an old man in the street?
And who loses their job then goes for a relaxing holiday?
Some relaxing holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
She read the Chinglish script. She just
she said that Feng Shui is a pseudoscience originating from China.
Okay, so skip ahead. When we went to their website, you can go to the first slide, the first picture slide.
I'm
scan through here. Sorry, we have a lot of these, but we don't need to watch
it goes
all
on
of them.
and on. They're just hilarious though. Where is this? Okay.
So, they keep claiming it's made in Hong Kong, by the way.
Yeah, that it's a Hong Kong thing. Because like this whole feng shui thing is massive in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, it's massive everywhere in China,
Yeah.
Okay, that's another failure guy.
Oh,
okay, keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going. I just want to get to the actual
so you go to... it was right there.
Okay.
If you go to the website, this is called the Buddha Power Store, and that's actually the company.
Yeah, Buddha Power.
So if you look at it, it says Feng Shui Black Obsidian Bracelet. This is the one that we keep seeing ads for running on
usually $45, but right now it's $19.95.
Just for you. You know, this time for a limited time only. And the more you buy, you get a little bit more money off of it.
Yeah, sure.
So I had this suspicion.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is obviously super Chinglish. This is definitely a Chinese scam company, because of how...
It's like those drones you always see. Yeah. Man develops the most indestructible drone or whatever.
I was like, this is definitely just like some cheap factory in China, and I bet I could buy it like at piece cost, right, for very cheap. So what I did was I just looked it up, right?
Yeah.
And it was very, very simple to find out that I can just go on Alibaba, and it's the exact
bracelet. Yeah.
same
Well, is it gonna get there? You certainly paste these slides.
bracelet.
There we go.
There she is. This is the Feng Shui Black Obsidian Stone bracelet.
Men and women unisex for $1.64.
Not only is this not a knockoff of that, this is the exact same one on the website. This is where they're sourcing it.
Yeah.
So they put out this ad campaign hoping that I guess no one would be smart enough to Google it.
I don't know.
I guess the target audience might not.
Yeah, you probably watch that advert and you're like, okay, I'll click, this sounds good. And it's like, oh, it's only $20, I'll give it a shot. Meanwhile, it's being sold online, direct to your door, with only 95-cent shipping for $1.64.
Right, and that's, I mean, you could definitely get free samples too if you're going to make a bigger order.
Probably.
So this Black Obsidian bracelet thing is hilarious. However, to keep going, they have more stuff in their shop. So
they also have adverts for these other things too, by the way.
And all of them have powers, right? So this is obviously some enamel plastic looking piece of shit.
But I thought it was an odd looking bracelet that was given by like an old feng shui master.
No, it's Alibaba, and there's like 1 million per day limit of production. Okay, so this is the other stuff you can buy.
Take a look at some of the prices here.
Look at all the ratings. They're all 5 stars.
That's because they get the army of, the Wumao that constantly attack us and stuff. Those same people get paid as bots, basically, to go, well, not bots, real people.
You're looking at evidence of Wumao.
Yeah. They go on to, like, product sites, and they give good reviews or bad reviews. In fact, they're often used to force foreign competitors out of China. I know somebody who set up a brand. He was selling, like, Bluetooth speakers, and he actually got it developed. And he's the one who developed the specific style. And he was doing incredibly good business, and then all of a sudden he just started to lose clients, and then he went online, he saw on all of his Amazon and everything, he got like 0 stars, like 1-star reviews on everything. People were saying it's bad quality, and so he lost customers. Meanwhile, somebody who copied his exact same product was getting glowing reviews, 5 stars on all of their reviews, and the business was going to them. And that's because they paid these kind of like click farms, these Wumaos and stuff to go and do that. It's quite.
It gets super dicey in China with Taobao, which is Chinese eBay.
Yeah.
There's actual crime like surrounding it because they'll ruin someone's entire brand with like all these fake accounts and stuff, and then people will actually like hire real people to go mess them up because they lose everything.
Yeah, it was super annoying. Like I bought on Taobao. I bought a secondhand phone. Secondhand cell phone. This is way back in the day. Bought a secondhand phone for a subscriber who'd come to visit me because he lost his phone and he didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
So I helped him because Taobao's quick on delivery. It took like 2 days. So I ordered a secondhand phone, and when it arrived, it was missing screws and it was in a bad shape. So I gave the guy like a bad rating, like a 3 out of 5 stars or something, because it was bad. And he actually phoned me and threatened me.
Yeah, I've gotten threatened.
He said, you better change your review. I'm like, why? It's a bad thing. He's like, yeah, well, I can send you the screws, then you change the review. I was like, no.
I was buying American shampoo, and it was all exploded in the box, and he didn't wrap it properly at all. There's no bubble wrap or anything in it. So I gave a bad review. Calls you up. Yeah. Literally calls you up and is like, if you don't remove this, there's going to be consequences. Like, they threaten you.
They sent body bags.
Yeah.
Remember, to somebody who gave a bad review? I remember that.
Anyway, so when you go on the website, what's your favorite item here? I think I like the green eye obsidian healing bracelet. Also $2.
Yeah, but it says $25 here.
So
it's tough. All of this stuff just looks like tat to me.
Well, it is.
You have to understand, when you grow up in Africa, you're inundated with like African beads and African this and African that, and all looks very similar. Same when you go to like any developing country. One of the main exports from a developing country is arts and crafts. Yeah. And so you get used to this stuff. And I can't stand any of it, to be honest. I have one bracelet, which, as you can see, I don't wear because I'm not one of those guys. I know there are people out there who love trying to take on the identity of a culture they're involved in. Like you'll see people in Africa, like white people wearing African stuff, and you'll see like African people wearing, Native American
I like to wear
stuff.
kimonos.
Yeah, there we go. But you know what I mean? It's just like there's that whole thing. It's a bit chintzy and cheesy to me. I don't like that whole idea.
No,
but my father-in-law gave me a very nice wooden sort of prayer bracelet.
Yeah.
I don't wear it, but I keep it because it's sentimental value and it looks nice and everything. But that's if I have to look at this and give you my honest opinion, I really don't like any of
I
that
said all
stuff.
shit. I was joking. The reason I pointed this out is Sacred Sri Yanta Organite Chakra Necklace. That is the most expensive item.
Yeah,
right?
$45
Looking at $45. So I was like, you know what? This feng shui black obsidian bracelet is obviously the most popular. They keep promoting this.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like a one-off. Maybe they're actually manufacturing this chakra necklace because it's more expensive. So, well, funny enough, I went back on Alibaba and I've actually found every single item that they sell. This one's a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, that's $12, dude. But
Still an amazing profit margin.
Yeah, it's a huge profit margin.
But yeah, everything. I mean, everything is available for bulk order from a factory in China. And I mean, I didn't want to make this video to say don't be duped because you're not going to be duped. It was just mostly about the entertainment value of these ads.
Dude,
don't play it out.
Yeah.
There's another slide.
Okay. There is one thing that I cannot stand though is that people that take this kind of job, how much do you think they got paid to do this?
The White Monkeys?
Yeah.
I would say $50, if that.
I mean, I know that when I did an advert once in China, and it was for cognac. I don't know if I think I told the story, didn't I? Yeah. Anyway, it was ridiculous for those of you who don't know. There used to be this kind of like talent agency, I suppose, and she had all the phone numbers of all the foreigners in Shenzhen, basically. And what she would do is whenever an advert came around or a TV series, I was on a TV series as well. I played a bad guy who who gets defeated at playing pool by like the Chinese hero who comes in, which in real life would be true anyway because I really suck at pool. So it doesn't matter if someone who doesn't even know how to play pool would beat me. But yeah, so I was in a TV series once, and they paid about 400 renminbi an hour for that stuff.
I got 300
Okay.
for our sunglasses then.
And then I did that stupid cognac one, which was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. Wearing like a flowing pirate shirt on a boat, you know.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. But yeah, so I guess they probably got a similar amount for these things.
Probably. I mean, also though, like the voiceovers, you know that voiceover guy? One of them, they actually just use a computer, by the way.
Oh, yes. They've got a computer voiceover on one of them.
But the voiceover guys, like, you can go on Fiverr and pay maybe $10-15 for someone to do a voiceover.
True. But for someone to stand in front of the camera and read a blatantly false story to try and dupe people into like a false sob story about your parents being killed and stuff, it takes no morals, zero morals to be able to sit there and tell that story with a straight face like that. If I ever see that chubby British guy in real life, I am going to give him so much crap.
Well, I'm just going to ask him about his stories of when he was a trash collector and how he pulled his family out of poverty. And mostly I want to know why a British person uses the word cookie, because they certainly say biscuit in the UK.
Yeah, I would say cookies too.
Do they?
Yeah, but I
mean,
do
they give them to their fathers?
No, I don't know why he would give his father a cookie and sing him happy birthday. Yeah, after being mugged.
Oh yeah,
he's first mugged and all his money's taken, and then he miraculously buys a cookie with no money.
Yeah,
I don't understand. Did he make it? Is it a mud cake? I mean, like. Anyway, yeah. That's,
so I thought that was hilarious. There's a lot more of these, and I was mostly surprised to see this in Western internet.
Yes.
Because this is stuff you would see on Chinese internet.
Yes.
It's like black, what was that, Ginger
Boss,
black garlic salesman,
yeah.
hiring a Russian to pretend like he's from England.
Yes.
That stuff you see all the time, but we saw this on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for this kind of stuff. It's hilarious.
Well, I mean, they're trying to play to the sentimentality and do this whole sob story, and they think, okay, we just need to get a white face to pretend to have this sob story in English, an English speaker. And then people are just going to buy it because, America loves its sub story and it's all about charity and, all that kind of stuff. So they know how to push the buttons, but their execution is terrible. It's terrible. So yeah.
It actually doesn't appeal to Western sensibilities though, because it's always about this, I'm going to make my family rich. And Chinese people can't think past that because that's literally the most important thing. Oh, I need to make my family rich.
Yeah, exactly.
And apparently, according to these people, a lot of their family members die quite easily just because they lost the cursed bracelet. This could be a movie, dude.
It really could, this cursed bracelet thing. I mean, there was that time that I got duped into pretending to be an architect.
Yeah.
Where I went around and I'm like, we talked about that. But I didn't go on the TV and do a thing about how my family died and that this, you know, all these bad things happen. And this, if you buy this bracelet now, it's going to change your life around, you know.
And you're reading from a script that tells you to be a nationality that you aren't.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's ridiculous stuff. It's just crazy to see.
It's fun though. It's very fun. I loved it. If you guys actually, I'm not even joking. If you guys come across anything similar to this, if you see funny ads and stuff, send it over our way.
Yeah,
we'd love to cover it.
This is just, we came across this literally like on Monday.
Next time, let's take apart the drone.
Yeah, the drone is the same. That piece of crap.
But I feel like if we chase it up, we'll learn a lot.
Yeah, that's very true. So guys, keep an eye out for this. See if you can spot the other, you know, the one Malaysian Chinese guy's other sub story about his father being beaten by the police, because that one's actually quite entertaining.
There's a lot of themes about bullying, death, and wealth.
Yeah.
And failure.
Yes.
A lot of tests. I failed in primary school.
Anyway, it's probably time for us to do some super chats before we move on to our next segment. So what have we got?
Cool. Hugo G. Your videos are sick. I've been watching for 3 to 4 years. Always been sick. Thanks, Hugo. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bud Yeti. Nice shirt. Same old. Mine came the other day. Cheers from Alabama.
Nice.
They're actually alive again, so keep an eye out for those. Der Edelpenner. All the best from Bavaria, Germany. Thank you. Dankeschön. He who shall not be named. Keep fighting the good fight, guys.
Certainly will.
Jonathan Case. How do you think President Kanye West will handle China? Seriously, just wanted to donate. Love you guys. Thank you.
Probably with dragon energy.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Crap. Don't you hate when it does this?
I do.
Okay,
there we go.
The Dental. Beer Fund. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sludge Porpoise.
Wow, thank you for your generous donation.
Very clever name, but very generous. Thank you. MSP 2505. C-Milk, how is your Hong Kong family under new law? Well, they're not happy about it. And I don't know if they want me talking about it, to be honest.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. Yeah.
How you been, bro? Dariush T, just some beer money. Stay awesome, guys.
Appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do one more. David M, another $10 for beer, guys. You guys are going to make us turn us to alcoholics. I watched the recent videos about you.
I'm good with that.
Okay. You're good with being an alcoholic?
Well, with the beer drinking, anyway.
I'm totally fine with that, too. I watched the recent videos about your decisions to leave China. Maybe Damon Affleck, Constance Wu, and Awkwafina will be available for the movie roles. Cheers. Yeah. That's a good one.
Excellent. Well,
okay, cool.
Time for us to go on to Guanxi Corner, where we talk about anything relationships, you know, whether it's business, personal, romantic, anything like that. So what have we got for Guanxi Corner this week?
I'm going to try to be polite, but I'm just going to get mad reading this.
Okay, go for it.
But we can finally squash this.
Sure.
Hey, guys. Howdy. I got a job in Chongqing for ESL. That's English teaching.
English is a second language, yeah.
But currently, China is not allowing foreigners to enter. Any idea on when China will open its borders again? Stop asking. Number one, don't go to China to teach ESL now. It's very hot. People are getting snatched up right now.
Yeah.
There's like arbitrary detentions and deportations right now. China's pissed off at the West, especially Canada.
Yeah.
Right now. Number two, I just feel like the vibe towards you on the street's not going to be super positive. Yeah. Not compared to like when we were there. Yeah. But if you must go, guess what? You can't, just like you said.
Yeah, you can't.
And we would never know when China will open its borders because there's not some like secret document that we get our hands on.
Yeah, basically you just have to wait and see.
Yeah. It's not like they tell us.
I also would I just have to say, okay, things were different when I went to China. You know, I went there, this massive adventure, you know, basically presented itself, and I decided that's where I wanted to go. But now, looking back, given the choice between going to mainland China or Taiwan, definitely Taiwan. Why would you not?
You'd be high if you chose China.
If you are interested in Chinese culture,
go to Taiwan.
If that's your whole thing, that you care about the dragons and the temples and the feng shui and all this kind of stuff and
Black
the kung
Obsidian
fu.
bracelets.
Yes. Taiwan is where you actually get to see that stuff, you know, because it was preserved. So you get a lot more Chinese culture. You also get the fact that the internet's not blocked. You're not going to be arbitrarily detained. You've got a great healthcare system. All the pluses, all the positives, fast internet, like I said, you can very easily use your driver's license from back home there. You know, you don't need to get a Chinese driver. There's all sorts of positives. Why would you not?
I think a lot of people are... They compare Taiwan and China unfairly and unfairly similarly.
Yeah.
In that they think, oh, it's like a little bit different or something. But let me make an analogy for you.
Yeah.
would you ask me, should I teach ESL in North Korea or South Korea?
Yeah.
Because I'm not even joking. It's almost like what the reality is right now.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
with the danger of you disappearing, going to jail, pissing off a government official.
Yes.
China's very sensitive like North Korea. It may not seem like that because of the unfettered capitalism, but the actual government structure is very similar.
Sure.
So you wouldn't ask me, should I go to North Korea or South Korea?
All I'm saying is that if you have an option, why not Taiwan? Why not South Korea?
Why not Japan?
Why not Japan? Why not Thailand? It
Thailand.
doesn't matter. There's all sorts of options for you in that side of the world.
Vietnam, little dicier.
Yeah, unless you are like 100%, your mind is set. You want to go to mainland China. I honestly wouldn't even plan it. Not right now.
No.
You know,
You're
that's
gonna have
just,
to wait for change.
also just the idea of being able to go there and live long term like we did at the moment. It's just not really an option.
It's not feasible.
Yeah, it's not feasible.
And if you do, you're gonna be living with paranoia and fear.
Yeah.
Unless you're just like a very like middling English teacher. But if you if you want to have a hobby or like get out there, put yourself out there.
Yeah.
There's a threshold, dude.
Yeah. No, that's the thing though. As just an average Joe, you can go there and you probably avoid trouble. You could probably still have the time of your life. But
Won't be the
I
same.
know that you could have a better time if you went to Taiwan, is
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You could
I
have a better time.
100% agree with you.
You know, or any one of the other countries that
I
we
actually
mentioned.
saw a little bit of discourse in the chat here. Some
Yeah.
people saying, "Why would you go to Taiwan when you can go to Japan?" I like Taiwan better than Japan,
Me too.
and I'll throw this out there:
To live, not
To live.
to visit. Yeah.
Japan's amazing.
Yes.
Taiwan is more inclusive. Japan is still very much a homogenous society, right?
Yeah.
You can be part of that society. The government system's in place, right, where you can become a Japanese citizen. You can participate. I saw a white guy running for office in
Sure.
some district of Tokyo.
Yeah.
At the same time, the culture is not as inclusive as Taiwan. Taiwanese people will treat you as one of their own.
Yeah.
They really will. It's very warm.
Well, from my point of view, anyway, Taiwan still has a lot of the lawlessness of mainland China. A
Yeah,
lot of
not the dangerous kind.
A lot of the Chabador,
Yeah.
you know, like let's just use the rules as a guideline rather than actually.
But not in a bad way.
Yeah, no, in a fun way. But
Yeah.
it has all the perks of Japan, as in you can get all the Japanese products. You can
Yes.
go to the Family Mart and pick
Right.
up a Strong Zero, for
Sure.
instance, and you've got a lot of influence. So you've got a lot of Japanese food influence, and you've got
Also
a lot
about
of
half the price.
yeah, Japanese cultural influences and architectural influences and stuff. But then you also have the richness of real Chinese traditional
Yeah.
culture
Like
mixed,
unfettered
kind of mixed
culture.
together. So you get the best of both worlds in that situation. Just like previously, Hong Kong was a fantastic mix of the West and China.
Right.
Taiwan is a fantastic mix of Japan
And China.
China.
Mostly China.
Yeah. Whereas, you know, Japan is fantastic, but one of the main things is it's prohibitively expensive.
Very expensive.
Taiwan is in fact,
It's cheaper than China.
It's cheaper than China to rent in Taiwan, you know, and to get transport. and
People
all
don't
that.
understand that the average salary in Taiwan is about 4 times higher than mainland China. So
Yeah,
you can
and
say it's
cost-
4 times richer. It's
Cost
about
of
half
living
the
is lower.
price.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Isn't that weird?
yeah, totally. Cool. So
Anyway, cool.
let's move on to our worldview, shall we?
Sure.
So worldview, we talk about everything in the world, and specifically with regards to China. So we should probably just call it China view. With a bit of the world
we'll
involved.
never change.
No, we won't. Okay, so this is just a funny little thing, okay, that cropped up.
High five.
This is the Shenzhen. You can see at the top corner it says Shenzhen Shenzhen City, like anti-drug bureau. And they've used, let me get us out of here.
I lived, by the way, I lived next to the anti-drug bureau.
Yeah, in Huizhou.
Huizhou, yeah.
Yeah. This basically says don't do drugs.
Yeah. Not basically, it's literally what it
Yeah,
says.
it's what it says. Don't do drugs, okay? But I think we can all notice that they have used the logo or the movie poster from a movie called Identity. So they actually just copied this random, I guess it's got John Cusack in it and stuff, so it's not like an unknown movie. I've never heard of it, but they've used this movie poster from this movie called Identity, and that's the logo for the Don't Do Drugs thing in Shenzhen. It's
It's
amazing.
very fun. And the funny thing is that these are they didn't hire a third-party artist to do this. These are government in the CCP employees. A lot of it is what is it called when you get a job for no reason? Nepotism, right?
Oh, dude, yeah.
What?
I'm just reading. It's hard to make out those characters, but see on the hand here,
Yeah.
I think that might be someone trying to claim that they did this artwork. It's
Oh,
hard,
that's
it's hard to
hilarious.
tell.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard to tell.
I
It's-
can't see, it's
yeah,
too small.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get these government offices, and every branch of the government will have a propaganda outfit.
Yeah.
And the propaganda outfit is meant to put ads out for its goals.
Yeah.
So the anti-drug bureau basically puts out these posters. And it's funny, because you see the rich cities get a lot more funding,
Yeah.
But they still end up copying stuff. Like
Yeah.
they will copy for their own government propaganda. But if you go like in the countryside where they often have the anti-drug, because rural China has a big drug problem.
Yeah, they've got anti-drug protesters everywhere.
Yeah, the posters, right?
Posters.
Yeah.
I don't say protesters. It's on the brain.
But the what's it called? The ones on the countryside are hilarious. They'll have like PLA army guys like shooting people and like ghosts and skulls and like poppies.
Like the poppy flower's head is a skull.
The skull, but it's like really poorly done.
My favorite still is the copper theft thing where the guy's like stealing copper and there's like a policeman kicking him in the ass and shooting him with a gun at the same time.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, I've actually got footage of that. Remember from
Instagram it.
Yeah,
I think you already have.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
anyway, the reason we brought this up is that even in the government departments in China, they just can't make their own stuff.
Well,
it's so
somebody
lazy.
got paid.
Yeah,
like you were saying, nepotism. So it's like, okay, we need this poster, and they'll be like, yeah, my cousin can do it, or my uncle, or my son, or whatever. And so they're like, okay, we'll pay him like 10,000 RMB. And then the guy just goes and copies this off the internet and like, here we go, done. And they're like, that looks good enough.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, I bring this up too often, but it's a good refresher.
Yeah.
People got to understand how dysfunctional the Chinese government is.
You got to understand.
You got to understand how dysfunctional China is.
Yeah.
The reason is nepotism is like hugely toxic and bad. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
When you go to a city will have like one official Communist Party of China translator, an English translator.
Sure.
The reason that they have them is that documents it's mandated, have to be in Chinese if they're a foreign document. So let's say you get your police report from your home country. Yeah. Criminal record check. You have to do that if you're going to get a work visa in China.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you get your criminal record check, and you go and you wait in line for God knows how long in this bureaucratic nightmare places that never turn on the air conditioning.
Yeah.
You sit in this sweaty office until you meet the one person. So we're talking about, let's say, Huizhou, city of 5 million people.
Yeah.
There is one person that got this job, this iron rice bowl, secure till you die job.
Yeah.
She is about 25. It should be the most fluent person in the world.
Sure.
Her one job is to have the highest degree in English, should be able to communicate as well, and has to professionally translate documents.
Yeah.
There are hundreds of thousands of kids that go to school for English, to study English, to get a job like this, but she got that job. And guess what? When you bring your document to her, she can't speak a freaking word.
Nope.
She doesn't know a freaking word of English.
But she stamps it off to say whether it's real. I actually have a very good example of this. You know, when I was applying for my work visa, which was way back in like 2012 or 2011 or whatever it was, part of that is I got all of my certifications translated. So what you do first is you get them translated by a translation company. Then you take it into this government bureau where they like certify, okay, it's real. One of my documents was in Afrikaans, which is not English, as we all know. And I translated it myself. Okay, so it was an Afrikaans certificate for whatever course I'd done. And I had the English, which I just translated myself. And I presented these to her, and she looked very closely at the Afrikaans one and then at the Chinese one and stamped it. Yes, that is a correct translation from English to Chinese. There wasn't a single word of English on the Afrikaans. It was like, come on.
The point is, like, it sucks for these kids that try to get these government jobs because they lose out to corruption.
Yeah.
So some grandpa put her in office right there.
Sure.
She gets to have the job, not the kid that worked their asses off
Yeah.
and speak fluent English.
Exactly.
And it's like that in every government department.
I know,
unfortunately.
it's silly. It is silly.
So,
well, I guess Guanxi Corner's over, so Worldview is over, so it's time for Q&A where we answer your questions and question our answers.
Ooh, yeah, I like spicy.
Yeah.
Dion Chapman, do you think your partners will ever be able to return to China? We wouldn't allow them to in the current climate. I mean, that's a dicey question.
Look, it's a tough thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I would never try to restrict my wife's freedom, and she's free to go and visit whenever she likes, but I would personally caution against it at this time.
I would say that as well.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard to, Dion, we love you, but it's hard to answer a question like that because we don't know what the future is going to hold.
And it's very difficult to know what the Chinese government is thinking or what they're trying to do because it's
not transparent.
It's a very hostile kind of a situation for people like us now and anyone.
And a lot of
actually,
people now.
Yeah, this whole new Hong Kong bill has thrown things completely off kilter.
People
because,
are freaking out.
You could be anyone there's a photograph of you at a Hong Kong protest or something, and you could try to go into mainland China, and you could be
Hong
arrested.
Kong.
Yeah, or Hong Kong. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's effed up.
everybody who's been supporting this national law and saying how it's good and Hong Kong's a part of China, all that, these people are basically Satan.
Yeah.
They do not understand what a blow this is to the free world. And just how...
And Hong Kongers...
You know, who cares if Hong Kong's a part of China or not? When you grow up in a society which Hong Kong has been a separate entity from China since before anyone who's currently alive, okay, was born basically, unless you're like 100 and something years old.
Like that Master Xi bracelet.
Yeah,
guy.
maybe. So you grow up in a society that allows freedom of speech, individualism, you know, expression, creativity, all
part
this
of your
kind of
life.
stuff. You know, you have unfettered access to the Western world when it comes to the internet, trade, media. You've got access to pornography, things like this, which you don't have in China.
Right.
So you grow up in this society. Whether your society is part of China or not, it's different. And then when suddenly it's being taken away from you and you're told you're not allowed to say what you want, you're not allowed to view certain kinds of media, you know, you're not allowed to express yourself, you're not allowed to be creative, you cannot say anything that goes against the Communist Party of China. Of course it's going to piss you off. It's your entire existence and the way you grew up and your whole like vision of life is being taken away from you. Your identity is being taken away from you. It's as if the Soviet Union took over America because of some old document that was signed a long time ago, and they suddenly say you're not allowed to wear blue jeans anymore and you're not allowed to listen to rock music or country music. You know, all of a sudden, of course you're going to get pissed off. Of course you're going to try your best to stop it. And that's what's brought on all these riots and protests and, you know, all this kind of stuff that's gone on in Hong Kong, is because people's very identity is being stripped away from them. You know, so for somebody to say, oh yeah, well, so what? It's always been a part of China. You know, go screw yourself. You don't understand, because the kind of people that usually are saying that are these arrogant Westerners that come from developed countries and have never had to deal with this kind of identity crisis, like I did in South Africa, where the country was basically turned upside down, and the way it is now, compared to, you know, when I was growing up, how things changed so drastically, and, you know, nepotism and crime and corruption just came in and destroyed the entire country. You have no idea what it's like to be in a situation where your stability is taken away from you and your identity is taken away from you, because you're either Canadian or you're American or you're Australian or you're from some or other civilized developed country where you know you can count on having that stable home to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
The people of Hong Kong who grew up in their country, which it was a separate country, are getting that taken away from them. And they can't go home anywhere, okay? Just like me. I can't go back to my country. I am, for all intents and purposes, a refugee. And I have been for the last, who knows how many years of my life. Half of my life. So, you know, you go where you have to, but you don't have that stability. And that's what the Hong Kong people are facing now. And it takes someone who's been through that situation to understand them. Mm-hmm. So my final words on this is the people supporting this national security law, screw yourself. Quite literally. You're just fucking evil is what you are. You do not understand what you are supporting because you yourself have never been through it, and you never will, because you're a smug piece of shit from a developed country and you have this bullshit mindset because you grew up in a good situation.
I totally agree with you. Mm-hmm. And I would like to add that it's so serious to be from a developed Western nation where you have enjoyed all of these benefits. Yeah. And I'm not just talking about benefits of being able to say whatever shit you want. I'm talking about benefits of having a fair judicial system, a good education system. Yeah. You always have food on your goddamn plate. You can rely on the fact that the law is on your side. Yeah. You can rely on the fact that if someone does you wrong, then you can have fair justice. And then all of a sudden you get to go to China, where you lived this another privileged ass life, where you're sitting there not understanding anything that's going on around you, but just saying, you know what? This is good for these people. I get to have an opinion about these people in Hong Kong because I look around me and I think authoritarianism is totally fine. It's totally okay because it's much more convenient to have someone tell you what the fuck to believe in and just shut up, make some money, drink your beer, eat your food, hang out with your friends and stuff. You don't have to care about the other stuff. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that 7 million people in Hong Kong feel the same way. No. Because you are not them. No. You don't get to have an opinion about how they should live their life. Right? Just like I can't I couldn't take a person that was pro CCP in Hong Kong, like a Hong Konger. They're quite rare. But let's say I pluck him up there and I can't say, listen, I know better than you what's good for your future, right?
Sure.
But what I can do is support the Hong Kongers, the overwhelming majority that want their freedoms and oppose the national security law. If it's a democratic society, they should have voted on that.
Yeah.
But it was imposed on them by a foreign government. A foreign government imposed a law that strips away your entire identity.
Yeah.
And yet a Western person is telling you you don't deserve that.
Yeah.
Is that not, I'm not going to say racist, isn't that dehumanizing?
It is. I mean, you could make an analogy and say that, okay, if you're Canadian, all of a sudden America takes over Canada, the government kind of passes a law that says that you're not allowed to criticize Trump. If you criticize Trump, you go to jail. All right? Or vice versa. If you're American and Canada takes over, you have a fat chance, but let's just say it does happen. And they say, if you say anything bad about Trudeau, we're going to extradite you to Canada and you go to jail. It's the same kind of thing. Like, just imagine you as a Canadian suddenly get told that a foreign government, basically, because you've always been part of the UK anyway, the Queen now mandates that you're not allowed to get free healthcare in Canada anymore, Wouldn't you get upset about that? It's because your way of life and your stability and where you come from is being meddled with in such a way that's life-changing, drastically life-changing. Of course you're going to be upset. It's dumb. So all these people have always been a part of China. You could say the same about every bloody Western country used to be part of the UK.
I used to be from Africa.
Yeah, I am from Africa.
I'm saying my ancient ancestors, right?
Yeah,
so
my recent ancestors.
You get to win that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're actually from Africa.
I am from Africa, British, but yeah. Anyway, you get the point. So let's continue. We've got
I'm sorry,
to get through.
I'm sorry we went.
Yeah, let's hammer some of these.
In the name of beer.
Yes, in the name of beer.
In the name of beer.
In the name of Cain.
With all that has happened to you in China. Thank you for the donation. We've already answered that question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, though. David, 11, came up with a new one. Winnie the Diaper's full of poo.
Okay.
Wow. As immature as that is, I got a chuckle.
Yeah.
Thank you. Christina Youngren, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Case closed 93. Earlier, you have discussed marriages with white foreigners and Chinese citizens and how their kids are viewed in China. I've heard African foreigners marrying Chinese. How are they seen? Not as favorably.
Well, the Africans not as favorably. I'll be honest; they get picked on a lot.
Yeah.
But usually if it's a light-skinned foreigner marries a Chinese person, the kids get huge amounts of attention. Everybody loves them, but it's kind of weird because Chinese society, they'll call it a huan shui or whatever, huan shui. I'm like changed
blood.
Blood
transfusion.
They also call it.
You literally just said blood transfusion.
Yeah, I know. They call them zazhong if it's like a gross looking one, which means a bastard basically. But the thing is, they see them as a mixed blood, but then they give the child a Chinese identity. It's like, this is a Chinese person, but a mixed blood, smart and good looking. I've seen that a lot.
Right.
I mean, but it's very annoying. My friends who've got, you included obviously because you did it there too, who have like mixed children, are just inundated by people annoying them all the time.
Not as much with a girl. If you have a boy, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. But they still call them they would always say this. They'd say 混血, like, oh, look at the mixed baby. 你看混血好漂亮, how 美丽, right?
Yeah.
But then they'll also say, 这是我们的中国的娃娃, this is our China doll.
Yeah.
They would literally say that in the same breath, just to make sure
Yeah.
that my daughter, she's
claim it.
She's Chinese. I didn't know.
Claim it like
Thanks
the
for
South
telling me.
China Sea.
Yeah. Rick, will you interview someone who is pro-CCP, like Danny Haifeng, who goes on political YouTube shows saying that there's only 30,000 protesters in Hong Kong 2019? I actually know this name, and I saw an interview with this guy.
This guy's a psycho.
Oh my gosh. It's like, I know there's pro-CCP shills out there, right?
Of course.
But at least some of them try to veil it with other content. So it's like, you watch some of their other stuff. They're traveling around eating food or doing some other shit.
Yeah.
But then they have their pro-CCP content.
Yeah.
I can't stand it myself, but it exists. This guy, this Danny Haifeng guy, I saw this interview, and I feel like the interviewer just didn't know enough about China to contradict anything he said.
Yeah.
But it was literally like 11, 12 minutes of pure lies.
Yeah.
Like complete
Why doesn't he
misinformation.
just go live in China?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have
absolutely
no idea.
You have to understand that if you're an authoritarian government, that you've lost.
Yeah.
Just straight away. Because look, I'm not pro any specific government. I'm not sitting here saying I'm pro this government or that
Sure.
government. I'm pro a way of life.
Yeah.
You know, I care about people being able to live freely and enjoy life and have opportunities and, you know, be able to express themselves creatively and philosophically
And make change.
and so on. And yeah, exactly. Be able to live their lives. I'm not pro a system that shuts you down and prevents you from watching certain media, prevents you from being able to express yourself, prevents you from being able to live the life that you want to live, you know,
Right.
because, oh, no, it's not good.
Well, someone like him, like Danny or whatever, and actually don't even pinpoint him, anyone that does this kind of stuff. The irony is that what you're doing is using a Western platform that's blocked in China, because you're not allowed to use it in China. He's not in China, by the way.
No, exactly. That's
You're
what-
not allowed to use this platform in China to defend the government that blocked that service.
I know, isn't
Can
it
you
dumb?
see that logic?
That's something these guys don't ever seem to understand.
You can have an opinion because you're in the West.
Go have your opinion on Billy or something.
You
then.
can't.
Yeah. yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Go
Yeah.
over there though.
Yeah,
Try it out. Dragon Cat Overlord.
Nice.
Finally made it to one of these things at the start. Didn't have any questions for you.
Thank you.
But I'm glad to see you guys are doing
Thank you
well.
so
Thank
much,
you.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Tornado Brick. That's a dangerous sound.
Yeah.
Which Chinese politicians sound smart and which sound not so smart when talking Chinese? Li Keqiang sounds pretty smart.
Xi Jinping doesn't sound smart. He's got a very limited vocabulary from everything that I've heard. I think anyone who listens to the man speak, will understand that.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Chinese people say that,
Yeah.
like behind closed doors.
Obviously.
But
Well,
he's made fun of more than other leaders.
That's okay because he's got a team of writers who write these like eloquent letters that he supposedly wrote to people in his youth or whatever. They keep unearthing, you know.
Yeah.
It's like incredibly well written, but it's certainly not something he wrote. No. He's like, a circle goes through the star. It's kind of like, you know. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
He's the short bus guy that kept failing primary school.
He got the feng shui bracelet and he became the
Dude, his
leader.
name's Master Shi.
His name's Master Shi.
Dude, we just figured it out.
It's Master Shi.
Oh my god, that's how he came into power from being a pig farmer. Because
Yeah.
that story's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Ex-Mortis Lunar Cop Kings. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Kelly Nguyen, Xin Chao from Vietnam.
Oh,
Xin
Xin
Chao
Chao.
to you too.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Johnson. Imagine, hey guys, imagine cooling off in those blue mountains
man.
with an extra round of silver
You
bullets.
have no idea how
What
much
is-
I want to do that right now.
What is the cost difference between traveling in Taiwan versus Japan? Food, hotel, transportation.
dude.
Okay, so I'll make some
Yeah,
examples.
Yeah, go for it.
If you want to go have a meal at a night market in Taiwan, because that's what you'll do, you'll probably spend between $5 and $10.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Japan, if you want to eat street food but you want to get full, you'll probably pay $15 to $20. A hotel in Taiwan will cost you between $40 and $50 for a nice one.
A nice one, yeah.
And in Japan, you're going to pay $100 to $150.
Sure.
And transportation, I would say transportation in Taiwan is a tenth of the cost of Japan.
Yeah, it's really expensive. Also, Japan has all those really high swank, weird, you know, like specialty foods and stuff, and you don't know. You can't just walk into a place and sit down because you might get a hell of a shock. Like you might
Sure.
go to a kaiseki ryori place
Sure.
or something where it's like $600 for a meal that couldn't even fill a mouse, you know? It's just, seriously, it's one of those places. I love Japan, but it's, you know,
I love Japan.
in Taiwan is much more of a relaxed, you know,
Yeah.
kind of cheap and cheerful. You can just go all out, and they've got.
But it's
all
high
you can-
quality.
It is great. You got like all you can eat and drink beer gardens and stuff in Taiwan, and it's so much fun. And I like that part of it. So you can really relax when you go there. You don't need to worry about like, is this bill gonna kill me? You know.
Japan, that's a real worry.
It
I mean,
is.
we're poor.
Yeah.
If you're like a millionaire, obviously you're
Yeah.
not going to care.
Yeah, because I mean,
But-
you go to an izakaya or something, and you're getting a little bit drunk, and you're like, yeah, I'll order a couple more of this, couple more of that, and then the bill comes. You're like, oh,
You can't accidentally do that in Taiwan, is the
no,
point.
no, it's exactly. Yeah.
Shooter Down Under, I've been getting plenty of those ads under your videos.
Really?
That's hilarious.
That's
and
good.
Again, remind us, if you find any other product like that with this kind of Chinglish script, we would love to see more.
Yeah.
Herb Travel and Video, regarding feng shui. I highly recommend looking up the Hong Kong businessman, Peter Chan. He is currently serving a 12-year sentence for using feng shui to scam others, so much that he has used money he stole to buy private jets. That's, I guess feng shui is I mean, let's be honest, it's not real.
Yeah.
It is fake.
Well, I mean, there's certain things to, and I wouldn't call it feng shui, but I'd call it more like interior design or like design, which is more pleasing. Of course,
Sure, of
it's
course.
just like photography and art.
Feng
You've got
shui is-
the rule of thirds is for a reason because it looks more pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, but Feng Shui is geomancy, dude.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is you could get a so-called feng shui master who comes in and tells you to do this and this and this, and then you look at it and you're like, wow. It's not about some ancient secret art. It's more about the guy who knows about aesthetics and he understands like the lights.
My mother-in-law throws coins in the corner of my room.
Yeah, that's just bollocks.
All right?
That's just bollocks. But I don't know if it's the same guy, but recently in Hong Kong there was a big spat because a feng shui master basically convinced an old woman, like a billionaire, to leave all of her assets to him in her will rather than her family. And I remember the family took this feng shui master to court and they eventually won. But it's that they really do know how to con people. Yeah.
By the way, to the Buddha Power Stone or whatever store, if you're looking for a sponsor, we'll rock those beads.
I just want to buy some after this.
They are gonna hate us.
They probably are.
Yeah, but to be fair though, they just got a lot of press.
Yeah, you know what's really annoying about that whole nonsense is it's literally just somebody finds some random product on Alibaba, makes the stupid ad campaign, and overcharges the crap out of people.
To be fair though, I think it goes beyond that. I think the Alibaba is for people that want to start a similar scam business in the US, right? Or different country.
Yeah.
This is a Chinese person that wrote all this marketing scripts.
Yeah.
They have the source directly from the factory.
probably get it way cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, they
do.
do.
That
They
piece
do.
cost will be like 10 cents.
Yeah, it'll be 10 cents for them, not $1.62 or whatever. So.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so sorry, JPN says, these ads remind me of lit mobile chargers on various zombie mobile shooters ads.
That's that like stupid solar powered battery bank. Same deal, dude.
Total
same
bullshit.
Deal, same deal.
We'll look into that one too.
Yeah. Same as that drone that you keep seeing that looks like a knockoff.
Yeah, the funny thing is we know where all these products are made, like down to the area.
Yeah. I've been to some of those factories.
Right.
In fact, those solar chargers,
They're made in Wachanbear.
I actually went to a factory where they make them because I was looking at doing that and sent a bunch to my parents and they all turned out to be faulty and crap. So
usually that stuff.
Yeah.
Remember when I bought 100 USB drives that
and
didn't
they
work?
all didn't. Not a single one.
Not one. And I went through like 50 just to make
yeah.
sure. Weirwood dealer. Guangdong man versus Florida man. I say, the infamous Florida man. I don't know. Guangdong man might find a way to outsmart Florida man.
Guangdong man.
Guangdong man is much smarter than Florida man.
Yeah,
for sure.
and more ruthless.
For those of you
burning dogs alive and stuff. You know?
For those of you who don't understand, I made a video where I compared every U.S. state to every Chinese province. Yeah. So he came up. Ultimate MLC. WTF, why are the CCP allowed to be part of the UN? That's a complicated story. It has a lot to do with Canada, believe it or not. You should definitely, if you Google that, you'll find the answer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good media about that. Brian Skinner. Now you guys have been in the USA a while. What's your thoughts on riding between China and USA? By the way, still love my Churchill. Thanks, Brian.
Awesome, man.
Can't believe you still have it.
That's fantastic. It's a different ball game. First of all, the bikes, of course, here are bigger and faster. The roads are much more open, and there's more freedom here, and people don't drive like crazy. I'll tell you one thing. It took me a long time to adapt.
Me too.
Because you're riding on your bike here, and you see a car coming up to an intersection, and you have a heart attack.
It's PTSD, bro.
Because you're going fast on we've got big bikes here. Mine's like a 900cc. Yours is 900 as well. You're going fast, and this car comes up, and you slam on brakes. You're like, wow, but because you're expecting them to just pull out in front of you like they do in China, because they don't stop for bikes. No. But here people stop and they're like, what's wrong with this guy? They obviously see this bike coming down the road and so they whoa.
Dude, driveways are like, like when, this is a bad comparison, no disrespect to army personnel, but when they drive over an IED or whatever.
Yeah.
IED, is that what it's called?
Yeah, IUD.
IUD. Yeah. Isn't that an interuterine device?
Yeah, that is an interuterine device.
Anyway, they drive
IED
over...
is right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't drive over condoms or whatever the hell.
Still destroys life either way.
Well, it prevents it from happening. Right?
Yeah.
We're getting deep.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, they drive over that and they get, obviously it's a traumatic experience, and then they come back and they see a bag in the road and they actually have real PTSD. Sure. A minor version of that is us, because we have hit people, or people have hit us, right? By pulling out in front of us in China. And we've seen people's brains on the road. I've seen tons of death. I've seen splattered dead bodies because people pull out in front of bikes in China. So now the plastic bag I'm referring to is like driveways in America to me, because people pull out of their driveways and they stop for me every time.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm so scared.
It takes forever. It's
don't drive over IUDs.
No, absolutely not. Oh man. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. That was a bit of a convoluted kerfuffle.
Usually you do that. That was me. Yeah. Elin Jacobson just randomly stumbled across you guys. So glad I did. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard. Thank you so much. Okay,
awesome.
We got to do way more Chinese Chinglish White Monkey Job reviews.
It's funny.
Big Mike Man. Gentlemen, what do you think in regards of global mounting pressure on the CCP? It feels like we're at a boiling point. Your thoughts and insight would be greatly appreciated. Yeah.
Too little, too late. Really, it needs to have started earlier, and we need more of it.
Yeah. I mean, but it is happening.
Yeah.
But the momentum needs to continue.
Absolutely.
Right.
You can't just let it fade away again and let things continue, as per normal.
The status quo needs to change so much that there are new institutions in place.
We need to hold them to account, just like when we started this with the foreign spokesperson saying, oh, don't you dare break this agreement, but at the same time, we're going to break this agreement when we want. There needs to be more tit for tat, and the Chinese government needs to be held accountable more, because it seems like the West is so used to being held accountable for mistakes. So when the West makes a mistake, there's apologies and concessions and so on. But when China makes mistakes, nothing ever happens.
Yeah,
they get to continue.
We get to operate like North Korea, but we're in the UN and not an international, like, global superpower level. What?
The government condones all sorts of cheating when it comes to international trade and IP theft and all that.
Not to mention human rights.
And yet they're never called out on it. And
it's just their system over there. It's a little different.
Yeah, no, it needs to change. That's part of what we're doing here, hopefully.
Yeah, Gedski 1200. What's the score with Miles? I think you mean Miles Guo.
Yeah.
The exiled rich guy holed up in a hotel. I mean, he's pretty funny. He's a good antidote to the CCP. Guy.
He's just a corrupt official who ran away and saving his own skin by,
Fair enough, but you can't criticize someone's agenda if it's a correct agenda.
That's a correct agenda, but I mean, he's just saving his own skin because he is. Well,
let's be fair. We don't know all the details. I can't have an informed opinion on that.
I can, but what I'm trying to say here is. When I was in South Africa, I met a policeman once, and he told me in order to catch black devils, you need white devils. Mm-hmm. So basically it means, to catch a thief, you have to have the same mentality. So you kind of need to be a criminal to catch a criminal. And it's the same here. In order to understand the corruption and the way the CCP works, you need yourself to be one of those corrupt CCP type
To be
people.
fair, though, like if you're in China and you rise to the ranks, that's life. You can't be an angel. No. I mean, that's literally what you have to be.
It's all about guanxi and bribes and crap. So you have to be a part of all of that. So that's what I'm saying is he's a good source of knowledge because he knows what it is because he's one of them.
Right.
So, yeah.
Baby Vasso, have you two ever gone by your Chinese given names? What do you mean by go by? I mean, in China, a lot of people called me Ma Xiu.
Yeah, because look, when you get a Chinese driver's license or
look at this guy.
an official document, how's it going?
What's up, bro?
Yeah. Anyway, the thing you have to do is get your name translated into Chinese, and it then becomes your official Chinese name.
Yep.
So, like whenever you have an encounter with the police with your driver's license and stuff, etc. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Besides the close call in Hong Kong, I can't recall you two ever mentioning it. What's your name, Serpent? We will not give up our names.
It's very easy. My Chinese name is Winston.
Yeah.
Because Winston in English, so they just did like a phonetic translation for it. So Winston. Yeah.
This guy is relentless, hanging out in this construction tunnel.
Yeah. By the way, this footage we use in the background, for those of you who think that we're out of date or something, this was taken 2 days ago.
That's because how we know.
We still have friends obviously sending us new footage in from China, so expect to see up-to-date street scenes and things in our podcasts and whatnot,
Absolutely. Shaq Sitar, very, very generous. Thank you.
Wow.
Hey guys, I've been binge watching all your videos the past couple of days. Awesome stream once again. Take care of yourselves and best of luck with everything.
Thank you,
Shaq.
Thank you very much.
That was a slam dunk of a donation. Ifan Pan.
Yeah.
It's nice to catch a live stream for once. Hope you guys are doing well. Do you know about the whole international student thing in the U.S. recently? They might face deportation if their school goes online only due to new policy.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about that. I'm going to have to look into that. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that we couldn't answer.
No, we'll look into
Definitely look into it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Santi. What country is good to bum around for vacation on a motorcycle in Asia? Would Taiwan be a good choice? I would say
yes.
The only choice.
Well, no. I mean,
Japan,
you could Thailand.
That's too dangerous.
What do you mean? Like what? Like traffic?
Yeah. Dude, I wouldn't... let's think about this. You've never gone to Asia.
No, he said bum around.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, Thailand is... If you go to...
There's a higher
if you go to
traffic death rate than China.
if you go to like Koh Samui or something, just that island.
Sure.
First of all, it's all about the party atmosphere. The entire country is built on tourism.
Sure.
So you go to a place like Koh Samui, you get on your bike, you literally drive from a little drinking hole area, town part to another. There's beach parties, all this crap. You can rent a bike or a scooter for like nothing. Like your entire vacation, you'll spend like $50 on
Sure.
scooter rental or bike rental. And you can cruise around and explore and do whatever the hell you want. And things are cheap and you can have a great bumming around. Beautiful beaches, that kind of thing. So I think Thailand's
It's
good
much
for that.
more dangerous, though.
Well,
it's
like-
much more. It's
That's-
almost
I-
twice the death rate as China.
I know.
unfortunately.
Yeah, yes, but what the thing is like when you read the tour books and the guidebooks, they're like, make sure you wear a helmet. There are more road fatalities, etc., etc. And of course, it's because everyone's drunk.
Yeah, true.
You know, in those
They
areas.
drive like crazy.
Yeah, like okay.
The reason I picked Taiwan is it's cheap.
Yeah.
I consider it more beautiful of a country than Thailand in terms
Sure.
of diversity.
it doesn't have the nice beaches.
Kending's nice.
Yeah, it's nice, but
Sure.
you cannot compare to those
No,
like
no,
white
I
sand
understand.
Thai beaches.
Okay, so you say Thailand, I say Taiwan.
I mean, I agree.
Taiwan's safe.
I agree with Taiwan. I love Taiwan. I personally would go to Taiwan, but if you want to bum around,
It's better riding.
the thing is, Taiwan's not a bum around place.
You can bum around.
No, you can't. What are you talking about? You can't bum around. You still have to pay reasonable prices for everything. Whereas if you go to Thailand, you're
Sure.
cheap as chips. So if you're a backpacker or something like that, that's what I get by bum around.
Oh, okay.
And Thailand's way
Gotcha.
better because you can go sell your beads or whatever to earn your money. You know, that's what they
Black
see.
obsidian power bracelet. Get
Yeah,
it right.
exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, whatever.
sorry.
Agree to disagree.
Taiwan's great.
To the rescue. Even with civil service, there are ways nepotism and cronyism creeps up in New York State and local government jobs. Thankfully, not to the extent it happens in China. Thanks for recognizing that. As we've never claimed that other governments are not corrupt.
Yeah.
They are. There's corruption in
I
every
think
form
people
of large.
misunderstand what we say.
It's about the extent that it exists. When the entire system is built on that, it's different.
It's systemic.
Yeah.
Systemic nepotism.
Brian, you guys are doing good work. It'll probably be worse before it's unbearable, and changes is the only solution. Thank
Yep,
you. I agree.
thank you.
Funbot, what do you think of He Who Shall Not Be Named, new Hong Kong video? We would never watch.
Never watched that nonsense.
Roman Gaubin. Wow!
Well,
Wow!
that's
Thank you
fantastic.
very much. Nice. Welcome to China. That's an interesting message.
That's a lot of Chinese people will say that where they basically are saying, come and visit China. They say welcome to China, and you're like, but I'm not there,
yeah.
or
I'm already there.
or I'm
yeah.
already there. It's a nice sentiment. Well, either way,
I
mate,
can't
thank
wait
you.
to go back to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Heath Runyon.
Are you saying Taiwan? Don't you dare.
Heath
Republic
Runyon.
of China.
Beer money. Clink.
Clink. Thank you.
Ifan Pan. By the way, I was saying Taiwan is a real China.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Please
Of
continue.
course, you know that.
Yeah.
Ifan Pan, it's so nice seeing you guys so passionate about Hong Kong. I'm from Shenzhen, and Hong Kong holds a special
Yeah.
place in my heart. It
Yeah.
broke my heart to see the evil law getting passed. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you. And thank you
absolutely.
for being on the side of good. Dustin Pearson, what's up, my man? Hey, guys. Thank you for bringing me the best entertainment this month. Glad you're well. Africa Be Strong and the China relationship robots, hilariously delightful.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Africa Be
Be
Strong.
strong, remember
The
that? Yeah.
propaganda.
Yeah.
That's
While they were doing the racist stuff in Guangzhou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And OK Spot says, 你们两个加油.
Okay.
TikTok's algorithm is pushing... Oh, by the way, that means you too. Like, keep it up. TikTok's algorithm is pushing Dogecoin.
Dogecoin?
No, it's Dogecoin.
Oh, is
Doge.
it?
You know the Doge, the dog?
Oh, right.
It's like a
yeah.
trash coin. It's fake.
Okay.
Any chance this China is using Dogecoin to support their current debt problems? That would be very interesting.
I think they've been trying to make their own cryptocurrency in order to do that.
It's not
Yeah.
Dogecoin. No.
I mean, look, come on. They just found out a huge amount of China's gold reserves are fake.
Yeah.
So you just can't put
4%.
anything can't put anything past them. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least 4%. Yeah. Right.
Flip Probst. Yeah, that Danny guy sucks. Saw him on the Jimmy Dore show. Is that where you saw him? Yeah. If you guys look up Jimmy Dore,
Don't even.
you'll
don't
get
even look
super
him up.
mad. You'll
Yeah.
just get super mad.
Yeah.
Andrew Clunas, don't tread on me, snake. I will not step on snakes, I promise. Thank you for speaking the truth. Best wishes to you and your family. Thank you,
Yeah.
Andrew. Shooter Down Under. This is a joke going around in Australia. China is so mad at Australia that they're threatening to stop buying our politicians.
It seems like they are, though, aren't they?
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
good.
Stacy Kret, thank you. No, thank you, Stacy.
Yeah.
End Times Man, thank you very much. And Sick Lid, very much appreciated.
Wow, guys, it's been a
Join the U.S.
fantastic
Army.
one.
Join the U.S. Army. Great benefits and fight communism.
Yeah. Okay.
Go for it, yeah.
Sure. I mean, like, I'm not a citizen, so I can't.
Sure. I'm getting a little long in the tooth, you know. Not
You're
in the
never
prime.
too old.
Never too old. Oh, I
Actually,
appreciate.
you
I really.
are. You do get too old.
Yeah, you do.
But
I actually do appreciate everyone And I want to say thank you to everyone that serves my country in the army. And
I've met a lot of military people. You know,
a lot of my friends went to the army. Yeah.
Yeah, and I respect the attitude, and I like that. That's one thing I've always liked about the American military personnel is they've got a fantastic attitude.
I agree.
You know.
Yeah.
So
the people I meet, they're very stoic, but they're also very friendly and respectable.
They just have a good discipline and good attitude. It's really good. It's good to see. Good soldier attitude.
Oh, China Uncle Mikey and Vera, we love you guys too.
Yeah.
They are China-based YouTubers. Check them out.
Yeah, fantastic.
Dan Ferentz, more beer money. Haven't seen you in a while, Dan.
Brilliant.
Cool.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this rather interesting roller coaster of an episode.
I hope you guys had fun. We certainly did.
Yeah, especially with that stupid obsidian bracelet. Guys, please don't ever fall for that kind of nonsense.
I don't think you have to give that advice.
Yeah. Probably.
It's up to them.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to go buy one, but buy it from Alibaba for $1.62. Don't pay $25.
Buy it en masse from Alibaba, and then the company will be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We will catch you. Please join me tomorrow for SerpentZA. I'm actually going to have a live stream on my channel, and it's going to be basically a Q&A about how I left China, why I left China, and I'm open to all questions. So please join me tomorrow.
And buy this shirt. I'll put a link.
Yep.
You plugged yourself.
Yeah, well, totally. We'll see you, don't forget, on Monday for ADVChina, the motorcycle adventure channel. Then Tuesday for Worthless Whips, the car thing. Wednesday, Lao 86. Thursday, this thing. Friday, my channel. Yes, I think we're stretching ourselves rather thin, but it's fun and we enjoy it and we can't wait to see
Just turn it off.